Hey, welcome back. If you caught the last video, we talked about how your gut and your skin are constantly in conversation, whether you realize it or not. And today I want to dig a little deeper, because this is where the real help begins. Now listen, I've had psoriasis for years. I worked as a dermatology PA for over 2 decades. I've seen every cream, injection, and biologic you can imagine. But for me, the biggest shift didn't happen in a pharmacy. It happened in my gut. So here's what made a difference for me, and what might help you start turning a corner. Let's start with diet. I moved toward a paleo and anti-inflammatory way of eating. At one point, I was keeping my carbs under 25 grams a day. Pretty hardcore. But my wellness doc eventually told me, that's too low for your body. You need more fuel than that. So I bumped it up. These days, I stay about 100 carbs a day, and I still watch what I eat, but I don't obsess over it. I'm not perfect. I still have days where I cheat. But I pay attention, because what you eat can either calm inflammation or crank it up. Sugars, seed oils, processed carbs, they feed the wrong kinds of gut bacteria. And when those guys take over, your immune system starts lighting fires. And yeah, that can show up on your skin. Now, on the other hand, when I focus on real food, things like meat, veggies, berries, nuts, and healthy fats, my body feels safer, calmer. And my skin reflects that. Let's talk about probiotics. A good probiotic isn't a cure-all, but it gives your gut the tools to balance itself again. Think of your microbiome like a garden. Probiotics are like planting the right seeds, but you still need to water them and pull weeds. A lot of us have had our gut wiped out by antibiotics, stress, years of processed food. A daily probiotic can help rebuild that foundation. But you know what feeds those good bacteria? Fiber, not the powder in a can. I'm talking real food fiber, stuff like leafy greens, sweet potatoes, flax seeds, carrots, chia. Fiber is what your good bacteria eat. When you feed them, they create compounds that help reduce inflammation and repair your gut lining. That's not theory. That's been studied again and again. Now, if you've been on a low-fiber or super-processed diet for a while, don't go from zero to kale explosion overnight. Ease into it. Your gut needs time to adjust. Now, let's hit something most people don't even think about: how fast we eat. Being an ex-firefighter paramedic, I used to wolf down meals between patients or standing in the break room in the ER. Here's the problem. Digestion starts in your mouth. Chewing signals your stomach and gut to get ready. If you skip that step, your gut plays catch-up, and that can lead to bloating, inflammation, and, yep, skin issues. So now I try to slow down. I sit. I chew. I breathe between bites. Not always. Not perfectly. But often enough to make a difference. Now, let's talk about stress, and yeah, I know, it's a loaded topic. You've probably heard someone say, just manage your stress, and thought, sure, you want to pay my bills and raise my kids too? But here's what I used to tell my patients, and it still holds up. I had a sign in my office that said, rules to avoid stress. Rule number 1, don't sweat the small stuff. Rule number 2, it's all small stuff. Now I get it. Some stress really is big. Grief. Divorce. Job loss. Even the good stuff, getting married, having a baby, can be joyful and physically exhausting. But most of what wears us down? It's the little things. The traffic. The noise. The notifications. The mess. And that builds up until your gut, your immune system, and your skin are all running hot. For me, one of the biggest stress releases used to be exercise. I was addicted to it in the best way. 5 days a week, 5 a.m. sharp, I hit the gym. At that hour, it was usually just me and the trainer. I'd be out by 6 a.m., just as the place started filling up. It wasn't easy. Honestly, the hardest part was just walking through the door. But that hour, it set my day. I felt better physically. And I felt better emotionally. That was my quiet time. That was my release. Yours might look different, and that's okay. Maybe for you, it's a walk. Maybe it's yoga. Maybe it's dancing in the living room. Whatever moves your body and clears your head, that's your medicine. So no, I'm not saying you need a 10-day silent retreat. Although, honestly, that sounds kind of blissful. But knowing me, I'd just stress out over how much it cost. What I am saying is, give yourself 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes to breathe or move or be still, without solving anyone else's problems. That small reset helps your gut, and your gut is what helps your skin settle down too. And here's the big picture. You don't have to figure this all out on your own. If you're serious about calming inflammation and getting your gut and skin to play nice, work with a medical provider who understands wellness. I'm not talking about someone who just hands you a cream and sends you out the door. I mean someone who looks at the full picture, your food, your stress, your sleep, your labs, your lifestyle. Because healing is never just one thing. And having the right guide, that makes all the difference. And real quick before we wrap up, just so we're clear, I'm not your medical provider. Even though I've helped thousands of people as a PA, I don't know your history, your meds, or what you're walking through right now. So don't take this as medical advice. Talk to someone who knows you. This is me sharing what's worked for me and what might be worth exploring on your own journey. Because when you support your gut, you give your skin a real chance to heal. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Hit that like button if this helped. Subscribe if you want to keep learning. Stay strong, stay healthy, and stay tuned to your skin, your health.